Welcome back to the PAC Sports Network for our halftime show as we're at the break between Bethany and W&J, and we're now joined by the head coach of the Bethany men's basketball team, Coach Brad Johnson. And Coach, thanks so much for joining us today. I know that we're a little bit more than halfway over the season, obviously, and getting closer to the end of the PAC slate of games, but how would you say things have been for your team to this point of the season?
Absolutely, Jack, and thanks for having me. So far it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride. We got off to a really nice start, and going into conference play have definitely cooled off. And we've learned a lot on this stretch of games here in the pack play. But biggest thing is I think our conference is unbelievably better this year than it's been in the years past, and a bunch of teams in our conference have scheduled good non-conference schedules. And I, like us, Franciscan also swept their non-conference schedule and didn't play cupcakes or anything like that. But and Franciscans, I think, sitting at fifth or sixth in our league right now. So it's a really competitive league from top to bottom. I think our guys are playing well, sticking together, but facing some adversity nonetheless. So it's been tough, but we're sticking together and trying to figure things out.
Well, you recently got back into the right track, if you will, snapping a long losing streak. So, how good and just how relieving was that to kind of put that streak to the end, and now you can kind of go into the second half of PAC play kind of with a clean slate?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is my 14th year in college basketball, and I've never ever gotten off to a 5-0 start followed by any sort of losing streak like that. So it's been tough. The emotions have been high, but it definitely changes. It changes like guys' moods in the locker room, and the biggest thing is our guys have done a good job just sticking together, focusing on the next 2 days of practice, going into a game and preparing, and focusing on the next opponent. But it's an emotional ride. And the biggest thing we tell, one of our program's core values, and we tell our guys all the time, is composure. And, we have to have the composure to face adversity and stick together through it. A lot of teams would have, starting off 0-9 in conference play, would have just thrown in the towel and given up. That's not this group of not this group of guys. Our team does an unbelievable job of just, playing for each other, playing hard every night. And, I can't say enough about our guys. They've stuck together and have bought in all the way through. And, I wouldn't be shocked if we can turn it around in the second half of conference play.
Well, you definitely brought back a very strong group of players to kind of make this turnaround happen, and it's led by Cole Daly having such a great season, building off of the all-conference season he had last year. He could do a little bit of everything, but what is something in his repertoire, in his game, that maybe people don't realize, and it's almost like a secret weapon for him?
Yeah. Cole, Cole's a special person, special player. And we challenge him every day. I'm very much in the way I coach is him being one of our best, if not our best player. I challenge him harder than everybody else on the floor. And, that he's very competitively mature in how he takes it, because he can compete and hear what I'm saying and not have to talk back, not have to be the cool guy that, one-ups his coach or anything like that. And he just puts his head down and does it. I challenge him, and I say a lot of crazy things to Cole that get him riled up, and he eats it up, and he says he needs that motivation. So, he's done a tremendous job of just taking coaching. And the other thing is he's just such a unique player with his skill set, kind of like what you said is, you don't really see guys at the Division III level that can have his height, his ability to handle the ball, his ability to pass the ball, as well as his finishing around the rim. And, his 3-point shooting is still a threat as well. He's not a knockdown shooter, but he can make them. So you have to guard him out there. And, he's a really special player, but unbelievably unselfish person. And, all he cares about is winning. He's racked up a couple awards this year in milestones with, I think, 1,000 points, as well as I think 500 career rebounds. So I mean, he's been rallying those things up together, but he all he cared, like after we make the announcement at halftime or whatever it was pre-game, he's like, Coach, we got to win this game. I don't care about any of that. And that's the kind of person he is. He cares about the team, cares about the people around him. He cares more about the team's success than he does his own individual success.
And then he plays such a big part to it, but Troy Hickson has also been a key cog to everything and a real consistent threat offensively. What has he added from his game and to his game, really, from the beginning of his career all the way to now that you see is really kind of taking shape this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like most shooters, a lot of shooters struggle defensively, and I think he's gotten to the point defensively where he can guard the ball in the dribble, as well as most guys on the floor. But really more so than his defense is just his ability to rebound the basketball has gotten a lot better. And maybe the stats don't show it. I'd have to even go back and check to see what it compared to his freshman and sophomore years. But he's significantly more aggressive. And, you know, our rebounding philosophy is a little bit different here than the rest of the league. And I know right now we're sitting in first in offensive rebounds per game. A huge part of that is the way we crash. And I remember when I got the job at the beginning of last year when I was with Troy is like Troy, we need more offensive production on the rebounding end. You know, you score the ball efficiently, but we need more possessions. So we need you to crash harder. And so like last year, he kind of would get in the paint and try to go after the ball sometimes. Or he would get in the paint and be in the right position, but he wouldn't give that extra effort going after the ball. And I think this year he's given that effort and he's starting to play a lot tougher, as well as his leadership ability on the court. He's a really, really smart player, understands the ins and outs of our offense and defensive rules. And, you know, he puts guys in the right place, especially with the young team. You know, we're starting 2 freshmen right now and then 1 transfer in Ryan Riesbeck. And those 3 guys are new to our system and new to our program. So you need guys like Troy who really understand everything and can help put guys in the right places.
I'm glad you mentioned the new additions because Ryan Riesbeck and Jess Roller have both been key pieces to the puzzle this season, and especially offensively. What do those two bring to the table, and how has it been getting them into the fold at Bethany?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with those 2 guys, especially just toughness. You know, every day they come ready to get better, and you know, they've battled a couple injuries, both of them throughout the year, and they, you know, practice almost every single practice and just tough it out. But like you said, offensively, especially, you know, their offensive efficiency and shooting percentages have been really through the roof for new guys. Ryan a lot more from 3 and Jess a lot more from around the rim. But Jess himself shooting, I think, 33% from 3, which isn't bad either. But for a time, Ryan, he might still be leading the pack in 3-point percentage, but he might have dropped down in the last couple games. He hasn't been shooting it quite as well, but he'll bounce back. I know he will. But those 2 guys are great offensive players. I think defensively, they're still learning the defense, and we need to continue to get rebounding out of them. But both very, very talented. The ability to score the ball is there. And, you know, it's led to a really good offense for our program this year.
Well, definitely been a very exciting season so far for Bethany, and I know obviously it's still a lot of basketball to be played. Before we get you out of here, Coach, I'm curious to hear from you what you think it'll be that can maybe allow for your team to get back into the mix playoff-wise, and what do you feel needs to really excel, rise above the rest on this team, and maybe be that driving force to get you there?
Absolutely. It's all in the defense and rebounding. When our group decides, you know, hey, we're going to get a stop, we get a lot of stops. The biggest thing is just getting back into transition out of transition defense into our half court, and then making sure we finish the possession with a rebound. So when we do that, I think our offensive efficiency and execution has been really, really good this year. And we've got the talent on the offensive end to do it. It's just the defensive, being in the right position, finding a way to make extra effort on loose balls and 50-50 balls and rebounds. But if we can fix our defense and rebounding and and get that a little bit better, I think we're going to be a tough team to play. And like I said, the pack is really, really good this year, but I know a lot of teams probably aren't going to want to play us with some of the offensive firepower we have. That being said, right now we're not stopping the ball enough from going in. So if we can take care of that end of the court, I'm pretty confident in our chances and especially our chances to turn things around and make a nice little run here.
Well, definitely excited to see how the rest of the season pans out. Obviously, like you mentioned, definitely have the talent and the firepower to do so. Coach, thanks so much for stopping by, and good luck the rest of the year.
Absolutely, Jack. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
That's Bethany men's head basketball coach Brad Johnson. Don't go anywhere. We've got more second half action coming up next right here on the PAC Sports Network.